YouTube and art. Just who do you think you are? In a medium characterized by raging gamers and tone-deaf apology videos, where does true art shine through? Who deserves to be the arbiter of artistic merit on a platform dominated by liars and con men? Do these people truly believe what they do is art? But yet, do I truly believe it isn't? Is YouTube a place for true artistic expression, or just another medium mocking authenticity? Okay, but is it though? Are YouTube videos art? It's a question we've been asking for generations. Is Family Guy Funny Moments compilation parentheses 69 LMAO on the same level as the Mona Lisa? Many are indeed asking this, but don't you worry, I have the best possible people on the team looking into it. Me. I got it. I'm gonna figure it out. As I rapidly approach my 9th year professing my admittedly slightly unhinged ramblings on this silly little website, I've become more disillusioned with the job I once yearned so desperately for. I'm like a moth. I see a bright light, I fly right towards it, uncritical of how toxic or problematic the outcome may be. It's the curse of being a bimbo. Look, I may just be a Gen Z beta who ruined music, friendship, and skinny jeans, but have you considered that potentially good? You can't fix me, I'm based as hell, and I'm single-handedly systematically dismantling Western society with my bare hands. Or so I've been told. But instead of falling down the rabbit hole, let's do something productive. Why am I worrying about this? Is YouTube art? Great question. That's such a massive thing to weigh in on. I don't know, bro, chill, we just got here. However, if anybody is going to figure it out, it's gonna be me. My credentials are in order. I'm like if Grimes and Aubrey Plaza had a love child. I'm like Pearl from the movie Pearl. I'm like if Martha Stewart was real. What I'm trying to say is, I'm very good at my job, and I may have a good perspective on the matter. However, I know that perspective may be limited. So naturally, I put together a devious little plan. Here's my devious little plan. This was just straight up evil. Let me explain. Over the last 3 months, I've been in contact with 15 different YouTubers in order to coerce them into giving me an interview. And it actually didn't take much, mainly because I'm friends with most of them, and thus they foolishly agreed. Like sitting ducks, I picked them off one by one. They trusted me, and I took advantage of that for my own personal gain.
I feel unsafe.
You have my complete trust.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's Mia, like, of course. But then at the same time, I'm more like, damn, it's Mia.
The plan was simple. Step 1, ask this unsuspecting group of YouTubers whether or not the job they've spent so much time and energy on is in fact art. To keep my true intentions a secret before the interview, I had to use a very specialized police interrogation tactic known as lying. When pressed on what this interview inquiry was about, I simply didn't answer, and they all still agreed.
Every time I talk to you, I say shit I don't want to say publicly.
When are they going to learn? It was vital I kept this line of questioning a secret before the interview because I wanted to get their real, honest, and raw reaction. That way, when it was finally time for the interview, I just got to sit back and watch them suffer. Next, no matter what their answer was, I prepared a lengthy list of counter-arguments and examples. I did this to make them scared and unsure of themselves, if not for anything else but content. We all like to see a YouTuber in fear sometimes, right? I'm kind of like the Ted Bundy of the commentary genre. Many are saying this. So, what do you think?
Are YouTube videos art?
God damn it.
Yeah. Not all of them.
Almost instantly, everybody went to their fight or flight response. I could see the fear in their eyes, like a deer in headlights. I especially enjoyed Kunkin Dassner and Anna Marie Forcino looking at me as if they had just seen the horrors of war. I'm kind of like the Patrick Bateman of the commentary genre.
Are YouTube videos art?
Oh my god. Hate this question.
Yes.
I think yes.
I'm going to say yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Imagine just in the least conceited way possible. Yes, I think they are because this is a big because I think most things that we create are art.
I have a very non-selective process about what I consider art.
What for me it defines art is having something to say.
If we take, like I take, art to just be any sort of manifestation of expression, yes, YouTube videos get to be art. And then they even get to be good art sometimes, and they also get to be bad art.
So like certain YouTube videos, yeah, it can be seen as art through your eyes. Through someone else's eyes, it can be seen as some fucking bullshit.
Any justification? Any?
Oh man, do I have to?
I think that we, out of all artists, probably are the most efficient artists. We have this extreme proximity to our audience that our art is our relationship with them.
Did you see that new Defunctland video?
What is a Defunctland? I don't know. Anyway, at this point, I started to see a bit of a trend. Everybody instinctively wanted to say yes, because of course they did. That's your natural response if you're a YouTuber. Of course you want to be considered an artist. When you hear the word YouTuber, there's instantly a negative association there. They have a bit of a branding problem. I used to have a series where I would walk around in a forest and explain my thoughts on a particular topic. Can't do that shit anymore. Everyone who said YouTube is art exists on a spectrum. There are those who think anything can be art.
So anything that has the possibility to be art, to me, is it.
Setting up a nice day with your significant other or your family. That can be artistic. You can find art in that.
Ugh, liberals. Then there are those who at least think art can be categorized.
Not all videos are, but YouTube videos are art, and they are probably the most harrowing and uncomfortable and vulnerable pieces of art that mankind has ever known.
If we are taking a more mainstream or hegemonic view of like, does YouTube get to count as an event? Which is what I feel like a lot of people mean, like when they say, is something art?
And then there's Anna Marie Forcino, who unfortunately never recovered from this interview.
I would say, I would consider video forms art. Wait, I mean, what is art? You said, is YouTube art? Yes, I would say so, because you're creating something. It's just a different medium to have the art on. I guess YouTube is a mix of art and entertainment, because some things can just be for entertainment value, other things can be just for artistic value. I don't know. Oh my god, I feel like my brain is like combusting right now.
But there's one thing for sure. Everyone seemingly agrees that this is art.
I think that trying to entertain people and trying to like put some of your, essentially yourself, your soul into like a video. And I think that that is what makes it art to me.
The medium is the message, and like what you make your piece of art for kind of fits where you think it is going to be released to people.
I mean, if that's not art, then I don't think I have a good understanding of what art is.
Huh. Maybe YouTube videos are art after all. YouTube is art, and here's why. Point one, look at it. That's art. That is so art. That is art if I've ever seen it. So when trying to define whether or not something is art, it can be real easy to just go surface level and say, nah, art is an all-encompassing thing. If you're gonna define something as art, you need to take it at face value. You think this is art? Checkmate, liberal. That's a guy. It's not art, it's a guy. Stupid. You think this is art? Are you insane? Art is a very personal thing. It means something different to each individual person. So for the sake of ubiquity, Oxford defines art as the expression or application of human skill. Very informative. Shout out dictionaries for being Googleable. Shout out Oxford for the free work. Shout out Elon Musk for just kind of always being around. To create a video for YouTube.com, it requires time and energy. There was the conception of an idea, followed by the inherent artistic act of creation. You put work into something and you made it. There was an intent followed by execution and a final product. What more could you want? That is quite literally the dictionary definition of art. So the videos themselves are art, but you could go even further than that. Movies, I've seen them, you've seen them. They're pretty good, I think. That's its own artistic medium. They're in their own lane, and they exist on a separate medium from everything else. Movies are the only thing being played in a theater. Cinema is deeply rooted in artistic expression. No one is arguing movies aren't art. That's just an accepted fact. TV shows and series exist on their own medium as well, television and streaming services. No one is arguing they aren't art. And YouTube is also its own medium. It is the most prolific medium for an individual's personal creations.
I feel that there's potential in the medium that to just be artistic in itself, and a lot of people sort of think of it as just the content.
It's the most prolific medium for an individual's personal creations. It's yet another natural step in the continuous progression towards the full and total democratization of creativity. That's good, actually. Just because it isn't mainstream doesn't mean it's not art, right? But why do you care? Why does YouTube need to be art to you? Do you think being an artist makes you more valuable? Is being a YouTuber not good enough anymore? When are you gonna drop the act? What if they know already? What if they see right through you? We have this preconceived notion that art is sacred and therefore must be gatekept by like a secret group of elites. But not like in a Kanye way though. For our purposes, we'll call this the mainstreamification of art.
So to make something that's subjective, like art, and gatekeep it to say, oh, there's only certain things that constitute real art, is kind of paradoxical to the idea of art. How can you say something isn't real art if the most artistic thing is to make something that anybody could deem to be art and can make people feel any type of way?
It's this idea that the mainstream gets to decide what is and what isn't art. Why is one work more valuable than the other? Well, it was syndicated by Warner Bros, so it must be very good and not bad. Everybody knows the mainstream can't be bad. It's not, it's all good.
I think I let myself get distracted, or worse, possibly taken advantage of, because I fell under the spell that traditional Hollywood studios tend to cast on people seeking opportunity. That lie that says, hey, we make real movies. You know, it's not real success unless it's through us.
I don't know what it is about humanity that just loves being crushed under the boot. This notion of real art versus, I don't know, imposter art among a sound effect is a really reductive way to look at human creativity. What, these people are just inherently more valuable because they get paid millions of dollars to do less work and more crimes? That's not a reasonable division, that's a class structure. But hey, go ahead, enforce your little rules. Maybe it'll give me enough strength to finally get off my ass and make a movie.
You made a movie and I'd watch it. I'm sure whether it was good or not, I would probably like it a lot because it's Mia Cole, but also it would be an added benefit and bonus and cool from my perspective, and probably for you, if the movie was actually good.
Exactly, this guy gets it. I'm kind of like the Jordan Peterson of the commentary genre. This isn't valuable, stop doing that. Remove real art from your vocabulary, that doesn't exist. Except now that you don't get to be the arbiter of creative expression. I do, it's me now.
This obsession with making things art is inevitably going to be the downfall of our ability to even appreciate art.
I think it's important that we shift away from trying to get onto traditional media in order to make it. Like, I think like a lot of people on YouTube even have this idea that you need to get onto traditional media as the logical progression of your art and your craft.
We need to stop lending more artistic value to these giant production companies just for the sake of it and thus gatekeeping art. Whether or not something qualifies as art or an artistic medium, why is it up to these people? We can do it more often and sometimes even better. YouTube is a video hosting platform. If it's used to host a home video or an artistic marvel, it can do both of those simultaneously and have that duality. It can be an art medium and a glorified SD card. This should have stayed in the draft, sis. You violated the code of conduct and thus must be executed. In the name of Paris Hilton, Gigi Gorgeous, and Trisha Paytas, I sentence you to death. However, take my optimistic tone with a grain of salt. You're watching a Mia Cole video, you know what's coming. I will admit, not everything on this site is art, because we are missing a key part of the puzzle. Intentionality and consensus.
When does a video cross into being art?
First it starts with intention, right? Am I intending to deliver a message in a specific type of way as I make this video? I think if that's the case, then it's definitely art from jump.
These are two major parts in defining whether or not something is art. Like we just discussed, art requires an intent followed by an execution and a finished product. However, that definition lends itself to a few missing parts. For instance, by this definition, a gaming Let's Play is art. And like, is it though? Not to completely obliterate all gamers out there with facts and logic, but okay, boys, I'm the new Anita Sarkeesian. Come on at me. Let's Plays aren't art because they lack artistic intention. A video of a guy playing a video game isn't art, but it's not trying to be. There's no artistic intent. It's rather an artistic experience. The art of which being the game and thus the experience of playing said game. Designing a roller coaster is art. Experiencing a roller coaster can be considered art, but watching a video of a guy experiencing a roller coaster is, Personally, I say no. Intentionality is the key in this regard. There must be some kind of inkling within the creator to make something for people to experience and marvel at. However, I would actually argue there is one exception to this intentionality, and that of course is consensus. I definitely think there are situations where there was no original artistic intent. However, due to common consensus, something has become art. Typically caused by the passage of time or the effect a product can produce on an audience, consensus can turn something that was not initially intended to be art into an artistic experience, of which FD Signifier had a very good example.
And then there's just stuff that's so weird, either intentionally or unintentionally, that it becomes art in like a meta ironic sense, you know, like, I don't know, Star Wars Kid.
Oh shit, it's Star Wars Kid. Oh shit. Whether you like it or not, this video is art. Fuck you, I will die on this hill. The council has spoken and the young man slays.
That's like a prehistoric meme from my era. He just turned on a camera and started doing Star Wars. Just, I'm gonna do Star Wars. And to me now, that's art.
No matter what you feel when you watch this video, it undeniably had a cultural impact, both positively and negatively. Okay, let's be honest, it was 2006. Of course it was negative. What, you were on the internet in 2006 and you decided to authentically express yourself? Do you want to die? Shout out to FD, by the way. He is the only person who would give this example. That man is just a full-ass dad, and you know, those are just the things he likes.
The pizza's on the way. The pizza will be here in like 5 minutes. I'm on. Okay, you getting this? Okay.
However, intentionality and consensus aren't the full answer to this problem, because the issue with subjectivity is that sometimes people are subjectively wrong. These peasants, what can I say? These people just don't know what's good for them. Not you though. You're watching the Miyako YouTube channel, and surely you're subscribed to the Miyako Patreon, so you're pretty cool. It's everybody else though. I mean, we fall victim to our own minds sometimes. Like, when I heard this, I felt genuine fear.
If you showed me the Mona Lisa, right? Like something beautiful, captivating. And I was like, wow, yeah, that's really good. That's good art. And then you were like, yeah, Jake Paul made that. I would be like,
that would indeed be terrifying. I too would be going, luckily, I don't think we have to worry about that anytime soon. However, that scenario does definitely highlight a part of us that just wants to gatekeep art. The Mona Lisa is revered as one of the greatest artistic pieces of all time, but that can only really be true because we have no preconceived parasocial notions of the person who made it. Unless you're just like a huge Da Vinci fan, I guess, in which case, good for you. He's dead. This is one of the best examples of how art is a natural extension of the artist, because divorcing this from this would be nearly impossible for most people. You'll never be a real artist. Just admit it. Why are you still doing this? They already know.
It's artistry versus the algorithm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what I mean by artistry is I'm not trying to be pejorative or insulting of like, if you're a vlogger, you're not an artist. No. Let me define artist. An artist has something in their head or their heart that they gotta say, and they wanna get it out, whether or not they have an iPhone or not.
YouTube is art. YouTube is art, and it's real art too. I know I said you can't say that phrase anymore, but guess what? You can again. Yay! YouTube is real art. Case closed. Because if YouTube wasn't real art, that would mean all the talented creators on here aren't artists. So like, it has to be. It has to be. I mean, sure, do I see an argument for it not being art? Of course. Because, you know, creations are permanently changed and manipulated into fitting the medium, but that's all right. And sure, maybe audience retention will ruin a whole generation of young creators, but it's fine. Like, I get that, but guys, just trust me on this. YouTube is art. I know this because I'm very smart. What, do you want a source or something? A source. I made it up. But it's true. I mean, look at all this. It's art. It's all art. It's all art. All of it. It's all art. It's all art. It's all art because it has to be. Because if it's not, then I'm not a real artist. But I mean, look at me. I'm so good. So yeah, YouTube is art. And, you know, maybe one day the mainstream will eventually recognize that. And when that day comes, I'll be right here, waiting for the calls to roll in. So I'll still be here, just waiting. Okay, but can I be honest with you guys for a second? I don't know if I fully believe it. It's hard not to take the reputation of this platform at face value. It can be kind of demoralizing to be embarrassed by the mere implication of your career title. This platform can host literally anything, don't get me wrong. You could pirate a movie and upload it right here. Does that make the movie any less art? No, of course not. Of course the movie's still art. But that's because it wasn't created with the intention to be a YouTube video. When I'm working on these videos, I know where they're gonna go. And that's in between a dream and a Mr. Beast video. I am right in the middle. And that's kind of why sometimes it's hard to believe this is art. I want to think it is. I want to think it is so badly, but I just don't believe it.
What I did out of content creation, I never view content creation as art.
Sure, anything is art. If you want to be an artist, I don't think YouTube's the place that you should want to succeed in.
My YouTube journey and my TikTok journey and my online platforming journey was out of a need of survivability.
Bamboozled again, bitch. YouTube is not art, actually. I mean, for God's sakes, look around. God, it feels so good to lean into your natural inclination. Just don't think critically. YouTube isn't art, and here's why. YouTube is a medium. It's also a business.
Are YouTube videos art?
I have a lot of friends who consider their YouTube channel art, and I respect that. I understand that. It's content, you know? Like superhero movies, sure, they're art. Would that be the first thing I think of when I think of art in like the film form? Not necessarily. Sure, anything is art. If you want to be an artist, I don't think YouTube's the place that you should want to succeed in. You know? I don't think that's most conducive to art moments.
The goal of the platform is solely to keep as many people watching YouTube as possible. This means you gotta be consistently checking for analytics as well as optimizing for the algorithm, or else you literally fucking die. That's right, I'm contracted under penalty of death. These things happen, I don't know what you want me to say. Optimize your content for what's best for the machine, and what's best for the machine is what's best for the consumer. The machine is consumer oriented. Actually, you may think you have a soul, but what you actually have is an intricately connected set of neurons that fire sometimes randomly. It makes you feel something. You think, therefore you are? No, bitch, you are, therefore you think. So the machine dictates what you want, and what you want is this.
Black lives matter, and you know, black lives are a part of all lives, so all lives clearly don't matter.
Oh, you love that. You love that so much. Okay, so now it's when you get to go, oh shit, it's a trilogy. Oh my god, she's doing a trilogy. It's almost like the majority of these interviews were completed back in mid-November after having just a complete mental breakdown, spiraling, not knowing what to do, and instead of going to therapy, making an hour-long video essay. Honestly, just completely normal behavior. Everything's going good, everything's going fine. Hey, do you want to see my Peter Griffin impression? Hey, Lowish. Hey, Lowish. Algorithmic optimization. This two-word phrase is the complete death of the idea of the art platform that is YouTube. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying art just can't exist on the platform, but what I am saying is it won't excel, at least as well as it could if it was algorithmically optimized, which most art is not. You're conforming to a medium, you're conforming to a system. Isn't that the antithesis of everything we've been fighting for? Can't drink your creativity raw, liberal. The commodification of art has been relentlessly debated on for generations, with some believing it is yet another necessary evil to prosper in our modern society, whilst others contend it inhibits creativity and robs the world of untold amounts of raw, unfettered artistic expression. And this is Mr. Beast. God, she's so good. Why is she so good? At this point, I think I just do these big collabs for compliments.
First of all, I love how insightful you are about YouTube. Like, every one of your videos is so personal, and it's like, God damn it, I see myself in this.
Whoops, not that one. The other one.
I feel like everybody tells you this, but like I have to watch your channel sober, and I watch all my other channels high.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate that one.
Can art survive on YouTube? Historically, there are way more channels that have tried to put their art on YouTube and failed at it and moved on to something else than there are who are currently still doing it. The platform itself doesn't want art on it. It's looking at everything and it wants everyone to be Mr. Beast. And if you're refusing to do that, good luck. But you're fighting an uphill battle for a long time. And I don't think that the metrics and the rewards that you get for being successful online, I don't think that they share the same values as an artist idea of success.
Retention strategy is actually something that's pretty unique to the online sphere. Because unfortunately on here, people have options. I know, despicable. This is communism 101. We're living in Orwell's nightmare. This is the future liberals want. But for real, when you think about it, it's a pretty uniquely online thing. Movie theaters don't care how long you stay. They got paid at the door. Why would they care about your retention? They have your money already. You're good. You could make the argument that TV kinda cares, but that's more geared towards like returning retention, a consistent episodic viewership, other buzzwords. However, online formats are all about optimization through and through. But unfortunately, some art just can't thrive in that environment, and thus the final product is slightly tainted.
If you want to make movies, right? Movies rely on sitting in a moment, which you're not allowed to do on YouTube. If you do that, then that's a mistake.
This can be a good thing, occasionally. It requires creators to be mindful of the level of interest your work may have sparked in the audience. However, YouTube promotes a constant environment of over-analysis and optimization. A fun little thing about statistics, though, is that sometimes when they go up, they go down. Number go up, then number go down. I don't know how it works. Why is it doing that? I don't like that. Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop. I think that's a silly and cruel little fact of life. Why do I need to know this information? I don't need to know this information. What am I gonna do with this? These numbers will drive you insane. You like statistics? How do you like that statistic? Not a fun statistic, is it?
Yes, I think YouTube videos are art, but actually, no, I don't think YouTube videos are art. I think that conversation is nuanced. I never view content creation as art in the same way everyone else might. My YouTube journey and my TikTok journey and my online platforming journey was out of a need of survivability, because I don't live in the best conditions. You know, I live in very impoverished conditions. This need of survivability became like a detriment to me as a Black creator. So when I got this chance with YouTube, I never really kind of dissected and said, like, is what I'm doing art?
YouTube just can't and never will be art as long as it's run like a business, because profit is the business. I don't know what to tell you, it's a business. And profit will always supersede genuine human creative ability. That's just how it works. And unfortunately, that's just how it is. And I don't know about you, but I don't see us fixing the problem anytime soon, which may just be the appeal for people to move over to the mainstream. Is it pure art? No. There's still rules and regulations to make things more appealable to a mass audience, but they have more leniency. The average community guidelines of any social media is way stricter than that of television. When I say average social media, I do not mean Twitter. I don't know what's going on over there. Nevertheless, thus is the mainstreamification of art. Though it may have its flaws, it might be the only option for those who want to go out and make something beautiful and not have to worry about trivial things like analytics, optimization, just be an artist. I get the appeal. We all want that. So how do you do it? I find your story really interesting because you wanted to be an artist, and so you just quit YouTube. Like, you can just do that. You're officially an ex-YouTuber.
Yeah, that's what I've done. If anyone's wondering where I've been, that's what I'm doing.
The mainstream is just simply better. What, did you work really hard for this? Did you work really, really hard? I bet you did. Good job. We're all very proud of you. It doesn't mean anything, though. You think you make art? You think you make real art? You think this is art? I mean, I don't think this shit is art, so are you on my level? Are you just as good? I doubt it. Nobody is. This is a call out to every YouTuber watching this right now. Let's box. DM me, come to my city, we'll meet up and we'll fight. Natalie Wynn, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry, I'll calm down. Well guys, as it turns out, the liberal lamestream media was right after all. I know, I was surprised too. Being a filmmaker in today's day and age is like being a shoe shiner in the medieval times. Seemingly everybody can do what you do, and better. The mainstream's just better. Everybody's an expert nowadays. I'm not taking your fucking freelance class. You've never seen a woman. What is it with YouTubers and their desire to break out of the YouTube bubble? Everyone on YouTube just desperately craves mainstream validation. I mean, look at it this way. If you truly believe you're a real artist, why would you not want to break off this platform? I get it, we all want to make something of ourselves. One reason YouTubers might feel this need to escape the YouTube bubble is possibly because of the aforementioned optics issue. People still to this day treat YouTube and thus YouTubers as like the kiddie pool of art, and perhaps they're right, look around. So YouTube isn't taken super seriously as like a direct competitor to these people and their companies.
Right now, I think that the larger art industries don't really take it seriously just because they see YouTube as a platform where really embarrassing, horrible things happen that dumb teenagers do.
There's still clearly a major gap between public perception and what actually goes on this site, and thus it's hard to blame people for jumping ship. And believe me, this trend will continue, so we might as well figure out what works and what doesn't. Throughout my entire interview process, there were two people that everybody just wanted to talk about ad nauseum: Lily Singh and Joji. The reason I think they were brought up so much is one, their ubiquity, but two, they represent two very polar opposite experiences when trying to jump from YouTuber to mainstream. For those unaware, Joji is a massively successful, world-famous singer-songwriter with several massive hits and loads of adoring fans. But like 6 years ago, he was just a YouTuber doing shitty performance art and saying the N-word on main. Is this your king? Meanwhile, Lily Singh is a vlogger, but get this, she's also a woman. So naturally, both of these personalities would be deemed to fail in the eyes of the public. If you've seen the late night scene ever, then you would know why it's kind of an uphill battle for someone like Lily Singh to break into the industry. And if you have any knowledge of business or like common sense in the slightest, you'd also know why Joji was also fighting an uphill battle. So why is it then that one failed and the other was launched into superstardom? Why did this work but this didn't?
Do you remember Lily Singh?
Lily Singh?
Lily Singh.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out for her because of several factors.
So like that bombed, right? But I think it bombed because she tried to take the exact like tone and pace of YouTube to a live television audience show, and they just didn't match.
What she does on her talk show is very similar to like what she does on her YouTube channel.
She advertised her show so heavily on being a previous YouTuber, right?
Okay, so, okay, that makes sense. I see the issues, I understand, it makes sense, but how did this guy make it though? It genuinely doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not like rooting for his downfall, I'm just surprised.
Like when you look at Joji, you don't think Filthy Frank. Like those are like two different personas.
The pink suit guy is making, you know, R&B Drake music.
I feel like my brain is like unraveling the more like I speak and like think of an answer to your questions.
It seems like there's a number of possible factors going on here. But I think the heart of this question is, how do YouTubers break into the mainstream? It's more of like a Google search for me. No, like genuinely, I'm asking, how? Help?
It depends on if they continue to be a YouTuber once they break into the mainstream. Because I don't know of any successful YouTubers that broke into the mainstream essentially as YouTubers.
I want to be an artist, not a content creator. I've been a content creator my whole life, but that was never really me. I love what I do, and I love being on YouTube. And for so long, I thought I could do both, but recently, it's felt like something has been holding me back, and I don't know what. So, some girls have journals. I feel like that would have been a better outlet for some of these feelings, but instead I've decided to air them out publicly, so you're welcome. I once would lie awake at night yearning for the day that I got my silver plaque, knowing in my heart of hearts that YouTube was unequivocally the thing I wanted to do. And don't get me wrong, I'm not leaving this anytime soon. I love doing this, but I realized my ultimate goal is not the same anymore. I don't want to be a YouTuber. I want to be an artist. What is this nagging feeling? Why do I feel so desperate to escape this box I've put myself in? How am I an artist if I have to say like and subscribe? How can I truly make something of value when I have to plug my Patreon after every video? What if I wanted to make a film or a documentary? Would I have to adhere to retention strategy? Maybe this isn't everything I thought it was. Okay, but also like, shut up. You know, I'm tired of feeling like this because I do it to myself. I'm just putting myself down over and over again because of my job title. Like I'm constantly thinking about this instead of just doing things I love and just making them anyway. Can YouTube ever be art? Nah, but I guess it doesn't really matter because you just kind of make stuff. That's just how it is, I guess. I guess all I can really hope for is that just someone gets something out of this. But whatever it may be, I know it's not art.
You can't comprehend how much 8 billion is, but when you try to break it down, it makes you feel small.
The people like me putting all that they have into one project after the next and throwing it into the void for you. Is that act valuable? This man just read me for filth. Why would you do that?
Oh, I mean...
He's terrified. So Chris, is YouTube art?
I very much subscribe to like CJ's idea that art is the moment and the feeling. If you can get that anywhere, I mean, that just makes sense to me. You know, that's the, in my mind, that's like the point of it. So YouTube videos, you know, if they can give you that feeling, if they can make you feel enlightened or blown away or change the way you think about something, I mean, that's why bother calling that anything else? When I first heard of YouTube videos and like video essays in particular being referred to as art, I was like, really? And I thought about it and I was like, oh yeah, it is. And I think that really kind of opened me up to doing it too, because that there's so much creativity that goes in it and it changes your brain in good ways. And so, yeah, it's definitely art in my opinion.
Okay, but what about those who say their videos aren't art? Like the creators who make things but just don't consider them art?
That's a question that I'm really interested in. Like, do you think it's entirely up to the creator or the artist to decide this is art? You know, because after a certain point, someone might say, you know what, Mia, that's bullshit. I get that from it. I mean, that's how I would say it. I think your videos, I receive them as art, regardless of what your intention is or whatever it is. So
what is it then? Where do you think true artists go from here? YouTube, the mainstream? What's the verdict, Chris?
If that information was readily available, we'd all be looking at that PDF, you know. That's, yeah, I truly don't know how to definitively answer that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Did you see that new Defunctland video?
What is a Defunctland?
So I've been following these content creators for a while now, and they're a big inspiration. I'm only a little insecure in admitting that. CGTX's videos that are explicitly about art, like in the title.
Okay, well, apparently you're the art expert, so... Is YouTube art?
I want to say yes and no. Everyone's going to say yes to some degree, because that's a very unassailable stance to take. So I'm going to just be the voice in the room that is like, no. But I'll elaborate on why. Something being art doesn't mean that it's good or like high quality or meaningful or important, right? Because bad art exists, right? So are YouTube videos art? Well, they are, of course, right? Because they're creations. A YouTube video is not like specifically a genre. What it mostly is a video hosting platform, right? So Defunctland has made a couple documentaries that are just documentaries. You could you know what I mean? They're just documentaries, right? And they're just hosted on YouTube. And that's the reality of the thing, right? John Dewey the philosopher John Dewey, he explains the difference between discharge and expression. And I think that might be the difference that I'm thinking of, where it's like, I think art is about expression. It's not about thoughtlessly vomiting everything that you've got without editing and considering and limiting and choosing and curating. So I think that might be the difference that I think is with a lot of YouTube videos are closer to social media in the sense that it's a lot of discharge. People just give themselves. They don't, you know what I mean? It's almost too real to be art. There's not enough mediation and thought.
So how do people break out of the YouTuber mold then? Even when creating on YouTube, how do you get taken seriously as a real artist? What do you think?
I think the question is whether or not they're validly more artist than YouTuber. It's a problem, right? Because if you're on YouTube all day acting like a YouTuber, then when you go to make art, you've defined yourself in a sense, right? It's kind of simple. Like, this is what's really difficult for me, right? It's like people talk the YouTubers stink as a problem. I don't have that problem. I'm meeting all sorts of people. It's not, no one's confused about whether or not when I go to make art, if that's going to be a serious thing or not. Because I call myself, I'm an artist and a philosopher. Happen to be on YouTube, but that's what people refer to me as, because that's how I refer to myself. I don't call myself a YouTuber. So what do I think about people breaking out? I think a lot of them are hopeless, and they're never going to break into the mainstream, and they're never going to be able to experience that real artist thing. And the reason is because they are going on YouTube and being a YouTuber. They're embracing it too much. And it's possible to be on YouTube without being like, I'm a YouTuber. And so, okay, so is that you hear that and have a cold fear in your heart?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So then you can change that today. That's the thing, is you can do it something different. I think, Mia, that you're very talented. I really do think that. I think you're very funny, you're very charismatic, and you're very talented. I think you would be a good actor. I don't know how you are in filmmaking. I don't know how you are with script writing. I think you're really good with visuals, though. You're very strong in your lighting and camera work and your editing. I think it's the same advice. It's like the same thing where it's like, where do you go from here? How do you try to make a path for yourself forward where you're a filmmaker? You make a film. You have to now. That's it.
Fuck. You're absolutely right. I mean, I feel like I could make it if I just played the game, but I don't know. I don't want to do that. I don't know if I have the capability not to, though.
I'm curious about what you'll choose to do, Mia. Because you've said to me for a long time, like you're comfortable, like you love YouTube and you care about it and you admire Mr. Beast and you're okay with these things and you care about the analytics and stuff like that. I could probably learn something from you. And that's fine if you want that. But if you don't want that, I'm curious as to what you actually want. You are very talented. So I don't know, but you're very astute with that realization of like, oh, I can just play the game, and if I don't give a fuck, I can just do this. I can achieve the goal. But then what kind of audience have you accrued? What kind of life have you created for yourself? And is that worth it? You don't have to give up YouTube as a delivery and hosting platform in order to do this.
Yeah.
That's not part of it, right? You can still use it. You can still use this medium of communication. Just understanding it's that, you know what I mean, is a big difference. It's like, this is understanding what is it I really do, and then YouTube is the hosting platform. I think that's perfectly valid. I think it's great. And then loads of people have used that. It's been fine.
You know who I'd be interested in talking about that too? Kevin Perjured from Defunctland.
I can get you in contact if you want to.
So, are YouTube videos art?
Sometimes. I would say sometimes for sure. I think YouTube videos are art. They can be. I don't think they always are.
Ah, well, there you go.
It's kind of difficult because you don't ever want to get into the game of trying to gatekeep art, or even worse, just create generalized definitions, because you'll always have exceptions.
If I can get personal for a second, is that what you want? I mean, like, you make these impeccable documentaries, but you put them all on YouTube. Was that always the plan?
It's not necessarily what I thought it would look like. I always imagined that my life would be much more, red carpet and Academy Awards. Those were my dreams. I'm not saying I thought that would happen, but that's what I was always striving for. I always wanted Academy Award, Emmys,
Obviously, it's not about the awards. That's just the arena that I thought I would be in, you know, film festivals. If I had known growing up that this was an option, I feel like I would have gone with this one.
Kevin, are you telling me the mainstream isn't all I've built it up to be in my head? So YouTube still has your heart then?
The reason that YouTube excites me versus something like those traditional film festival Academy Award arenas is because if the story ends up being 25 minutes, I can upload it. If the story ends up being an hour and a half, I upload that too. If it's 6 hours, which no film festival would allow, no Academy Award would be given to, you can upload it. That in itself is more interesting to me creatively at this time in my life, or at this point in YouTube's development, than anything that's happening in those other spaces.
That is so good to hear. You have no idea.
Kids in the 90s documented proof when they were surveyed. They want to be a professional athlete. Like Michael Jordan. They want to be Michael Jordan. Like some kid in like Utah or some kid in Montana wants to be Michael Jordan. That same, spirit, they want to be you now. It feels like an obligation to like make good stuff.
I used to lie awake at night yearning for the day I would get my silver plaque. And I have a feeling that day is coming very, very soon. I don't know what the future may hold, but what I do know is I'm here now. And I want to make things for you. And I hope you'll like them. And I hope you choose to stay a while. So, is YouTube art? I have no idea. But what I do know, no matter what, is that I am the only one who gets to decide what I am. So thank you, all of you. My name is Mia, and I am an artist. Yes, all of it. It's all art. Every single part of this, it's all art. This is all creativity. Just go out and do it. Every single one of you watching, go out and do it. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. It doesn't. It really doesn't, guys. You gotta just do it. And so the thing I learned is that art is good. You gotta do art. So shout out to that. Look, all I'm saying is, if I can do it, you can do it too. Just go out and do it. Look, I just made this. Look at this thing I just made. Isn't it good? Don't you like this thing I made? It's so good, right? You gotta check it out. How to get Defunctland in this? Why did he agree to that? Somebody check on him. That's your fault, man. I don't know why you did this. A shout out to him for the music, by the way. This is his music that you're hearing right now. I just took it. I was like, Kevin, can I have it? Just like real quick. And he was like, yeah, go for it. I don't care. So I'm not endorsing stealing music. I'm just saying, like, okay, I don't want to say that. What I'm trying to say is it's all good and you got to just do it, because if you worry about if it's art or not, all you're ever going to do is inhibit yourself. You don't want that. I want to see art in the world. I'm like CJ. I want to make it just do it. Just do it. Oh my God, shut up. Jesus Christ, shut up.